Testing. This is C++, and we're going to be looking at exercise chapter 2, number 23, which is on page 70. And exercise 23 states that we're to find the largest and smallest integer. Write a program that reads in 5 integers and determines and prints the largest and the smallest integers in the group. Use only programming techniques that you've learned in this chapter. So we are going to be creating a new project from scratch. This will be our own source code. So let's open Visual Studio. Close our start page and file new. This is our project. I'm going to be naming my project Windows Desktop, Windows Console, and the name is going to be Exercise Chapter 2, number 23. Be sure to change your location. We want to be using our C drive and our first name. And the folder I want to submit this project to would be Chapter 2. It's still Chapter 2 related projects. And select that. Say OK. Visual Studio is creating the project, all the helper files and folders. And we're going to need to create our source code. Well, thinking about this a little bit, I have integers that I want to input and compare to make sure that I can output to the screen the largest of those in the group and the smallest of those in the group. So I need to compare each of these numbers and isolate the smallest and the largest. Recall that we always get the minimum default supplied code when we create a new project or begin to work with Visual Studio. So I'm just going to delete that. I'm not interested in that code. I'm going to begin to type my own code. And for my first line, I'm going to document exercise 2.23 solution, and this is my exercise file source code.cpp. Checking the required source code documentation from the student resources module at D2L, I see that I have to always add the following beginning comments to my source code: file name, written by, written on, and then a purpose for this program. So let's see if I can copy and paste those required beginning documentation. Paste that into. Now, my chosen file name is paste. And I'm typing my own code. This is just an editor. I'm copying and pasting when I can to save time. You're going to type in your first and last name. So my first name, Kathy, last name is Jansen. Written on, I'm going to complete that as 518. And my complete statements describing the purpose of this program is largest and smallest integer. Okay, notice that the // I'm using a single line comment. This is just information informing beginning startup of this particular source code and its purpose. Well, then I'm going to continue typing, and to save time, I have the luxury to copy. I'm going to type and just simply type this in, and instead of typing with you, I'm just going to kind of briefly dissect the source code for you. So you're going to need your # include IO stream. You'll need using namespace std so we can use our standard directives without typing std every time. Here's my main function, int main, open close parenthesis, and my open and my matching close breaks. So there's the end of main. And now this is the process for designing our source code so I can complete the task of finding the largest and smallest integers within a group of input integers. So I have integer. I gave a variable name of 1, and I'm using the immediate initializing tactic of open close brace, and I'm initializing it to 0 with an ending semicolon. And I'm documenting internally appropriately as I assign each of these 5 variables, integer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and initial each to 0. I'm going to have an integer smallest variable name, also initialized to 0, and an integer variable largest, where I'll capitalize on assigning the largest integer in this group. So we're going to prompt the user, place within the quotes, enter 5 integers, colon, and a space is there. Make sure you quote the space, controlling spacing on the output screen. We'll continue then asking for CN from the user, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. So I'll be typing in 5 integers at the keyboard. They will be assigned to number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5 in memory. I'm going to assign the largest number at this point to number 1, and I'm going to assign the smallest number in this group to number 1. And then I'm going to test. If number 2 is greater than the largest at this point, then the largest is number 2. Otherwise, if number 3 is greater than the current largest, then the largest is assigned to number 3's value. Otherwise, if number 4 is greater than our current largest value, then largest is assigned to number 4. Otherwise, if number 5 is greater than our current largest assigned number in this group, the largest number is assigned number 5's value. Notice in our if statements that we have an if block, if with the condition that will test either true or false, and then the statement or statements within the block, open, close. If the statement tests true, we process the block. Otherwise, we move to the next statement in our code. So we now have largest assigned by comparing the group. We had 5 integers in a group. Now remember, we assigned number 1 to smallest. So number 1's value is assigned to smallest. If I compare number 2 to number 1, which is our smallest value at this point, and number 2 is greater than that, then the smallest is number 2. Otherwise, if number 3 is less than our current smallest value, then the smallest value is number 3. If number 4 is less than our smallest current value, then the smallest should be assigned to number 4. And if number 5 is less than our current smallest value, then smallest should be assigned to number 5. So we now have our smallest and our largest assigned by comparing each of the numbers in the group. So we're going to output to the standard console screen, Cout. We're going to output what's within quotes, largest space, and then we're going to place the current value of our largest variable. In a new line, we're going to continue to Cout. So this will be left justified, smallest, space is space, and then we're going to output the current value of smallest. So I've typed this. I've prepared my beginning documentation. I want to make sure that the project properties are set. We're not using pre-compiled headers. Apply and say OK. Let's save all. And remember, to compile, we want to type Control F5. Yes. And our command window appears with the black screen. Enter 5 integers. Enter a space between them to designate the end of that integer value. Okay, so I entered 3, 5, 77, 25, and 50. I'm going to enter. The largest is 77, the smallest is 3. And of course, there's only 5 integers here in this group, so we can easily determine that our program was correct at this point. So now, if I were turning this project in, I need to screen capture my output window. So I'm in Windows 10. I'm going to type snip and get the snipping tool. It's a dialog box. You can move around and choose new. You see a little dimming in my screen, and now I'm selecting the window information that I need. I'm going to open my Word document. Give a couple of blank lines and paste that screen capture and complete with my header, your first and last name, CSCI2240, and this was exercise chapter 2, number 23. You'll want to go ahead and save this and then upload to the corresponding D2L assignment category. I need to see the output of your existing project. So that'll be your output window captured as a screenshot and pasted into a Word document with the required header. Close your snipping tool, and we don't need to save that. And let's just run this one more time so that we feel comfortable. Control F5, enter 5 integers. And the largest is 84 and the smallest is 2. So checking your code, we have logically allowed for this to be executed. and we were able to find and output the largest and the smallest integer within a group of supplied integers from the user via the keyboard. And now I need your file, source code file. So I'm going to go to C++, or I'm sorry, to my C drive and my first name folder where I'm maintaining my chapter information. And I have my exercise 02 project folder. And there's your ex02-23.cpp file. So this is the file you will want to upload to D2L assignments and the correct category to fulfill your requirements for your program project assignment. All right, this was a demonstration of creating a file within a new project in Visual Studio, designing your own source code, executing and accomplishing the program task or tasks. And then making sure that you are uploading a screen capture image of the output and uploading your source code, your .cpp file, to the correct D2L assignment category. All right, thank you very much.